Welcome back, everybody. So, I got another little character drawing that I did here. And this one is a kid, an evil kid with a familiar. So, that was a suggestion given to me. And it was an evil Pokemon handler. But, I was like, well, we got to give it our own little original twist. So, we're not calling it a Pokemon handler. It's not. It's a evil kid with a familiar. So here we go. So I looked around, tried to find some reference like that would make him look a little evil. And I know this reference isn't totally evil, but I was looking for a stance with like arms crossed, kind of a little bit haughty, and came across this one pretty quickly and decided, okay, I got to change the face though. Got to make the face look a little more sinister. So here we go, going with the gesture drawing, as you can already see. Just trying to capture that curve in the leg a little bit. And then obviously trying to make sure it looks like a kid, right? So, the proportions are a little bit different. Head's going to be a little bit bigger in relation to everything else in the body. A little shorter, right? So all the limbs a little bit shorter, head a little bigger, feet slightly bigger. And here we go, trying to get this head on the neck here. Looks, so I could tell it's way, way, way off from my initial sketch. So we're gonna just refit the head on. And again, trying to make sure that the head looks connected to the chest area. And that's always an issue. Not always an issue. It can be an issue. So depending on, on how you draw and how you approach it. So as I always say, you should go from the chest, then, initial gesture sketch, I can start with the head, or anybody can start with the head, but once you get those shapes down, you definitely want to go from the chest back up. So chest, neck, and then head, so it all looks connected. And you can see here, if I would have not corrected myself, it would have been like a disconnected head. Okay, so I want to face his head down a little bit and kind of make his eyes look sinister, maybe give him like some evil cocky smile or something. So kind of just repositioning the head, doing that on my own, but using the rest of the body for reference. All right, trying to get his eyes looking down a little bit. I mean, a little concerned. So I want to make sure I nail out the face, because especially kind of flying on my own on this one with the face, I want to make sure that I get that correct before I move too far with everything else. Because I'd hate to screw up the face and then have all the rest already done. It'd be kind of a waste of time. All right, so I want to give him like this kind of a maniacal smile here. So I want to make sure I kind of capture a little bit of that evil attitude in his expression. So for the face, trying to, again, keeping it kid-like. The head's going to be slightly larger, so the eyes slightly lower, which is already going to happen with the eyes tilted down. But, but even with that in consideration, still want the head to be kind of big. And then kind of, maybe slim down the chin, maybe a little wider on the face. So it still feels that the chin is smaller and all that, right? Don't want to slim everything down. If I slim the width down too, it wouldn't feel like a kid. All right. So then we had having people throw out suggestions, and like, what could he be holding? Is it like a weapon or something? And we settled on a bat. Actually, I settled on the bat here, thinking it felt very like a kid could have this and get away with it, being like, it could be a bat for playing baseball, but he could use it for sinister purposes too, to kind of bully people around, but get away with it. Because other suggestions were a little harsher, like guns, knives, and all that. And I was like, no, he's a kid, so maybe his parents think he's like an angel, right? And he acts perfect for his parents, or pulls off, fools them. But then he's got his bat that he doesn't go play baseball. He goes and bullies other kid animal handlers in a world where all the kids are animal handlers. All right, so just had to pop the hand out, obviously there, with his arms kind of crossed in order to make it look like he's holding it. Now I'm just trying to get some of the sleeve on there. All right, and then super neglected his familiar. So again, we threw out suggestions, and the idea was a feral cat. So I was like, okay, let's do a cat. Found this nice little picture of a pretty mean looking hissing cat, and just wanted to kind of exaggerate it a little bit. So he's like, a feral cat, but throwing it in a little bit of the fantasy world here. So I was trying to think of things to just, emphasize a little bit more. Do like an exaggerated cat. So first, just capture the shape. Try and get this little hissing mouth here. And again, when drawing animals, I just going for whatever big shapes you can see. So the main three being the head, the chest kind of circle, and the body, and then now throwing on those limbs there. But since animals are so different, and unless you specialize in them, I'm just gonna draw what I see and just draw, break it up into shapes, and as I see it on the fly, as opposed to a person, which you kind of know the shapes already. All right, so just trying to exaggerate the fur a little bit, make him look a little more feral. Not that this cat is feral. He's not a feral cat. I'm sure he looks like a very well-groomed cat, but I want this one to look a little bit nastier, a little bit grungier, and then figured to give him a big old tail. Again, exaggerating the cat, almost like a skunk tail or something. I have a cat that has a massive furry tail. I'm trying to it's half Mancoon. We're pretty sure it's half Mancoon. We got it at the pound, but it looks half Mancoon and just has a lot of telltale signs with the fur between the toes, and really furry and a really fluffy tail. So I was kind of had my cat's tail in mind, and then just bigger. All right, one of the ears get a little pointy. Want to really get those hairs in the back kind of poking out a little bit. Sharp looking, just giving it, I know that the fur is not sharp, but just trying to give it that feel of sharp lines and whatnot. All right, back up to the kid here. All right, just kind of copying the shirt and the folds there. Didn't really think I needed to change much in terms of the actual photographs attire. Just like, well, shirt, long sleeve shirt, and jeans, and that felt totally fine. So just going with it. All right, lots of nice little folds down there as you get to the bottom of the jeans. It kind of bunches up there on the shoe. All right, trying to get the round part of the front of the shoe there. Then the pants kind of wrap around it a little bit. I went a little too wide there, so I'm gonna knock it back just a little, make it hug the shoe just a little bit more. All right, down the other leg. And get the other shoe on the other side. Get that round part in the front, and then go that curve underneath the arch of the foot, or around where the arch of the foot is. But this curve is going in, and then out to the heel, but then, and then go with the, just rough in some details, like the laces, like the little round part on the front of the foot. Then we'll get some details on the pants here a little bit, the pocket, then that little square kind of pattern on the shirt. And now just kind of moving around, picking detail out, and trying to bring the whole thing up to the next level at the same time here. All right, I wanted to get that little bit of that shape of the shoulder blade that you can kind of see in the back there. And this is a pretty quick drawing. I was kind of surprised how fast it went. Little more spikiness on the tail. Let's give it a little more of that pokey feel. Some little claws. All right, and we're looking pretty good. So he's about ready for some details, and so we're going to speed this part up here. So obviously, hopefully you're drawing with me, and then you can draw your own version and, pause as you need to, slow it down as you need to. But I'm just tracing, kind of refining my drawing here using the light table. And then attacking the face first. Make sure you get that right. And then we'll kind of move on from there. Hopefully getting the face right so that, we don't want the face to ruin everything else. All right, really want to get this expression down correctly. And get that maniacal smile here. And keep that chin small, keep the cheeks a little bigger, right? So he's got some cheeks, emphasizing the kid look a little bit. And then we'll give him like a little kid hairdo with like maybe a part, but a little scraggly. Just to make him look a little, maybe he roughed up somebody and his hair is just a little, a little messed up still. All right, pretty happy with the way the face turned out. All right, just gonna work my way down here. Getting the neck in there. I'm gonna keep the neck a little bit thin, again, just to keep that look like a kid. Don't want it to be too muscly or anything, or too thick. Now gonna do these sleeves here and try and get those little spiral folds kind of around the forearm, and then as it kind of bunches up right around the elbow here, and then the little pull of the fabric from the shoulders down to the elbow. All right, and you can see some pull there as his hands kind of gripping his shirt there, up on his right under his arm, on his underarm, and kind of all these little bunches up of fabric. All right, and get his hand there, get some like knuckles placed there. And then kind of roughen the bat here. Actually, not rough it in. Having issues with this light table. Is new one and it's acting weird, but anyways, I got it going again. All right, brought out a ruler just to get those lines kind of nice and straight. Wouldn't want to ruin the drawing with some wonky lines that should be straight. All right, other arm tucked underneath. All right, just getting the contour now of these jeans. Get all these little folds here. And obviously, never important to get the folds exactly from reference, but it's nice to have that reference to know kind of where things are pulling from, where the tension is, and then kind of mimicking the feel of that on your drawing. Always good to use reference for clothing and whatnot. For everything, it's great. All right, roughing in some sneaker detail there. Get the sole down there and that front little rubber part. And then let's throw on those laces. All right, and then I just felt the bat looked really plain, right? So I wanted to give it some texture, like it's been through some action. Didn't want to make it too gruesome or anything, but figured it was a little beaten up from hitting things he shouldn't have hit. All right, get that seam down the side of the leg and give it some curves there, as the fabric's going to roll in certain spots. Okay, just getting those folds as they curve from the inside to the outside. Kind of really loose spiral folds. Now the other side of the leg. Get that seam down the inside of the back leg there. All right, same thing here. Just get some of those folds. All right. And just throwing that little square pattern on the shirt there, just to, insinuate something there. All right, time to do the little cat creature. Issues with this little thing. I don't know. It kept turning on and off and brighter. Trying to find a good little setting here. You can hold it down and it goes brighter or dimmer. But the touch button's a little weird. All right, so just darken the room a little bit. Now I can see the picture a little bit better. There we go. The pencil break. Man, I always break these Prismacolors. I always press too hard when I'm trying to do the details. And you don't have to press too hard at all for it to the tip to just break. Love those pencils, but they break really easy and I break them way too often. All right, just trying to get that little cat face in there. And keep a little furry edge to the all the contours of the cat. Give him some paws and claws. Now that rounded kind of leg in the back. And little foot tucked underneath. And off to the tail. All right, now turning the light table off because it is hard to see the, sometimes it's hard to quite tell what your final line is when you have that light table on. So turning that off now at the end here. Just adding a little bit of value to the cat. Break up this monotony of all this whole white drawing. You can draw some hair coming out of the ears there. Cat's, his hairy ears. All right, just adding a little more texture on the cat. And we're just about done with this little guy. Pretty quick little drawing. Really happy with the way it turned out. Hopefully you guys were able to draw along, get a nice little evil kid animal handler guy. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for joining me.